Right everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are having a great weekend and we've got the big game tomorrow against Spurs. In this video today I'm just going to be going over all the news that's come out over the past few days that I've not had a chance to touch on. I'm going to try and make this a weekly thing at the end of the week on a Saturday for instance, where I just go do like a weekly news roundup on stuff that I've not really had much time to touch on during the week. So today I've got Manuel Ugarte, if that's how you pronounce his name, Milner To Brighton, GIC Private Limited Sovereign Wealth Fund of Singapore, Christian Falk talking about Graven Birch, and a little bit of a preview for Spurs tomorrow. Now, where should I start with this? Let's start with Ugarte because that seems to be the one that's going around a lot lately. So, this is a player that I think a lot of Liverpool fans have been wanting linked with Liverpool. He's been very impressive for Sporting Lisbon this season. And he's a defensive midfielder. I'm just looking at his profile now on Transfer Market. It says here in the Portuguese league he's made 27 appearances, he's got 9 yellow cards, 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 red cards as well though guys. That's quite impressive, isn't it, considering how many yellows he's got. He plays prominently as a defensive midfielder, so as like a 6. He's only 22 years of age. He comes from Uruguay, and the most important thing that I think comes from this link is he is represented by Gestifute that Liverpool have a very, very strong working relationship with. I've got a separate tab open here. If you go through Gestifute's players, a lot of them are either Liverpool players now or Liverpool have been linked with them in the past. So just to go over a few of them, we've got Darwin Núñez, number 1. You know, he's a Liverpool player. He's from Gestifute. He's also Uruguayan, so he probably plays with Ugarte a lot. Or is it Ugarte, whichever one it is? We've got Diogo Jota is represented by these. Mateus Nunes, another player Liverpool have been heavily linked with. Fabinho, he's there. Ruben Neves, we've been linked with him. Pedro Neto. I saw there was that Fabio Vieira as well. We were linked with him before he went to Arsenal. Renato Sanchez, that was the last one I was looking for as well. He's been heavily linked to Liverpool, and I think he was mentioned again today with Liverpool. Was Renato Sanchez. Not from like a decent source or anything, so I'm not really touching on that right now. But yeah, he was linked to Liverpool. And then Adama Traore, like, you know, a lot of people that are like based in Portugal, you know, it's, as far as I'm aware, Gestifute is it Jorge Mendes at Wolves, and the Portuguese player, my name's going blank now, is it Deco, I think he's involved with this agency. So the fact he's there, Mendes, and the fact that we've got a working relationship with them already gives me some validity to this. And also at the same time, the way where this link's come from over the weekend is that basically the place where the link originally sourced in regards to Darwin Núñez is now leaking this, or, you know, not leaking this, but putting it out there to the press basically. So there is something there with this, I think. I think this is a player that we should probably keep our eye on. I think he's got a fairly low release clause as well, at like 45 million or something. It might be a little bit more than that, maybe a little bit less, but it's around 45 million, so that's fairly on the cheap side. I've seen him play a couple of times this season, and I'm being impressed with him, to be fair. He seems to get himself about a bit. He's a little bit like, I say Mascherano, I'd say a little bit. You know, a very tough tackler. I wouldn't say he's like Caicedo, as in like getting about the pitch like a Kante or something like that. But he does very much love a tackle, this guy, and to sit there, and especially in my last video where I showed you the new formation Liverpool could be playing from going on, I could see him sat next to Trent in the 2-6s. Trent being more of the passer, and then Ugarte being like the player who's mopping around the back, you know, if that makes sense. So yeah, this one, guys, I would probably keep an eye on with this very much so as well. Like, what they've got him at 25 million euros market value on here, but like I say, I think he's definitely got a release clause of 45 million. So yeah, one to keep an eye on in the future is this one, guys, 100%. Now, I did see something else actually in regards to this. Now, I can't see anything with this. I've looked at Fabio Carvalho's profile, and he's got a different agency, it says here. But maybe Mendes is involved with that. But I have seen something in regards to Mendes wants Ugarte to go to Liverpool, and then Carvalho goes on loan to Sporting Lisbon. Let me know down below what you think about that, guys. Is that a good move for Cavalier? Could you see him going there and making a bit of a name for himself rather than where he is now? I think it's definitely something we could look for. You know, I think he 100% needs, you know, he needs a move, doesn't he, Cavalier, like on loan especially. So yeah. Yeah, we'll move on, guys. Right, so the next one we'll touch on is James Milner. So Brighton apparently preparing to make a move for Milner as a free agent, according to David Ornstein at The Athletic. Liverpool have given no indication of offering a new deal yet, even though Jurgen Klopp would like him to stay. And Klopp's basically made his wishes known to the club that he wants Milner to stay. So, what do you think about this, guys? You know, he's a very successful player with Liverpool, kind of goes a little bit under the radar. The one thing I love about Milner is whenever he's subbed on, if you noticed, he just always goes in for a tackle straight away. And I listened to the Liverpool podcast and he mentioned that on there where whenever the game starts or when he comes on as a sub, he likes to just go on and get that first tackle in nice and hard and, you know, set the level. So I think in all fairness, guys, we need him for the home quarter. That's where I'm going with this. Especially if we're signing players like Ugarte or Thuram or Graven Birch, you know, players that have not been brought up in the English system. We need to get out there and get some English in as well, especially if you don't get Mason Mount or Conor Gallagher. So maybe this is going to be like a last minute move where we do get him a new contract, but if he does stay, for me it's a 1 year, it's on lowered terms yet again, but at the same time it's also giving him the opportunity to move into the coaching staff. It's just what I'd do with him. You know, he sets a great example as well to the young players and the players that are there now of like what it takes to be a Liverpool professional. You know, I wouldn't. A couple of months ago I would have got rid of Milner, but now it's coming to the time where he's probably going. I want him to stay on like a cheaper deal if he'd take it. Do you know what I mean, for 1 more year, and especially for the homegrown quarter as well. Sorry, so yeah. What do you think about Milner, guys? Let me know down below in the comments. That's another one for you to let me know on. Now, this GIC Private Limited Sovereign Wealth Fund of Singapore. Now, that's a mouthful, isn't it? So, they've been mentioned a lot in my comments by Spectre in regards to Liverpool being either purchased by them or they're buying a minority sharing. And I haven't seen anyone reporting anything about them anyway. You know, we've seen Qatar, Dubai, this, that, and the other. And then John Henry turns up at West Ham, yeah? And then out of the blue, the Echo are running a report saying that they've got no interest in buying Liverpool or buying a stake in Liverpool, yeah? Where'd that come from? None of the newspapers, as far as I'm aware, have mentioned them. Ever. No one's brought them up. And then all of a sudden they get mentioned when John Henry turns up to a football game where we're all kind of surprised he's there. I call bullshit, guys. Like, I've said for a while I don't believe anything that these papers say now that have got anything to do with Liverpool, any sort of connection, you know, in regards to ownership or whatever it is. I just do not believe them whatsoever. So now the fact that the Echoes run with this, they've been told by the club to get that out there. But why have they been told to get that out there when nobody's saying anything about these? Do you know why that is, guys? Because I think there's something there. And don't be surprised if something happens with this. You know, there's no smoke without fire. Why are they putting it out there? Like I just said, it makes no sense whatsoever. So that's my opinion on this so far. I've got nothing else for you on that, apart from just keep an eye out for the GIC randomly mentioned for no reason whatsoever. Yeah, let's keep an eye on that for the next couple of weeks or so. The last bit of news I want to go over is Christian Falk at Sports Build has basically said that Ryan Gravenberch will tell Bayern Munich he wants to move to Liverpool. As far as I'm aware, probably terms have been agreed with Gravenberch. You know, his agent was at Liverpool back in January. Why was she there? I heard that the potential Liverpool were looking at a loan with an option to buy, but then just didn't pursue it. And then we've gone back in with the summer. His agent would love him to make the move to Liverpool, you know. I kind of think he's a fallback option in case we don't get something else through, you know. So, say we didn't get like McAllister or Ugarte or Thuram, I reckon that Gravenberch is potentially a fallback option for them. So, if that one goes through, I think we've missed out on somebody else. If that one goes through. But At the same time, I do think that one's there to push through as long as we can agree a deal with Bayern. It says here as well that Christian Falk says that Tuchel is going to try and persuade Graven Birch to stay at Chelsea, at Bayern, because he sees him as part of his plans, but maybe Graven Birch just kind of wants to move on. Graven Birch, sorry, I said the names 2 different ways then. Wants him to stay on, but maybe he's changed his mind. Too much has gone on behind the scenes and he just wants gone. And he just wants to move away from there and crack on with his career. I'd love him to come to Liverpool. He did really, really well at Ajax. He's just took a bit of a dip of form at Bayern, but he's not really getting the game time as well. So I could see him again in that 6th position next to Trent. But yeah, let me know down below, guys. What do you think about Ryan Graven Birch or Graven Birch, whichever one it is? Let me know down below, guys. And then the last bit I want to cover in this video is a bit of a preview on my thoughts on the Spurs game. So obviously we beat West Ham the other day, and I've mentioned in my previous video where I went over the new formation for Liverpool that the right centre-back position where Matip was playing was a problem for us last week. So the good news that came out of Jurgen Klopp's press conference is that Ugarte is back. So I think we definitely need him there, especially if Song's playing on that side of the pitch. You know, we need Ugarte's pace there to be able to keep up with that. But for me, where else do we make changes, guys? If this could be the 4th game in a row where we've played practically the same 11. We've got another game on Wednesday against Fulham, and we need to be winning every single games now, guys. Like, Brighton are on our arse. They've just smashed Wolves, as far as I'm aware. It was like 6-0 last time I saw. So they're only like a point behind us now. We do have, is it Aston Villa and United as well tomorrow? That's going to be one to keep an eye on. Especially if United end up winning that game. That goes against us, so I don't know, guys. I'm umming and ahhing between it. Do we make some changes? Like, do we get Diaz on for Jota, even though he's been scoring? Or do we take Gakpo out, put Diaz out on the left, Jota through the middle and leave Salah there? Does Jones come out of the team or do we keep him in? Does Henderson even come out of the team? You know, can he do 4 games in a row in short space of time? Does Thiago come in for Fabinho? There's so many questions, guys, and I really don't know what I want to do because we're winning at the moment with this formation, but I don't want to burn them out because we've got a lot of games that we have to keep on winning, and we've got other players on the bench that could come in and do a job. So if you put a gun to my head now and I had to come up with a formation for Liverpool, I'd do same keeper, obviously, same back 3 before the West Ham game. So Ugarte comes in for Matip. I'd do a midfield 2 in front of them of Trent and Thiago, probably. Rest Fabinho. Or maybe drop Henderson into that role. One of them. And then the 2 in front of them 2, I'd probably go Jones and Elliott, maybe. I don't know. I can't decide, guys. And then Salah, Núñez, Diaz. Do we rest Jota and Gakpo for this game? I think so, guys, especially with the game on Wednesday as well. Right. That's my video, guys. I hope that makes sense for you. Let me know down below what you do against Spurs. Give me your thoughts on everything else I've gone over in this video. If you are new here, please subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with everything else I've got going on. And I'll catch you in the next one.